Hey everybody, welcome to Life with Marlene. If you're new to this channel, subscribe, like, share this live stream out with anyone you think would like this content. I really do appreciate all of you. So, how's everybody doing? Happy new week, happy Monday. I'm back um, from yesterday. I said I would continue on the discussion from yesterday. Let me see what is going on. It seems like my screen is, there we go. My screen was a little weird right there. Hey, the mother and daughter duo, how are you doing? Welcome. Happy Monday. Hey, Nefertiti, how are you doing? Welcome. How are you guys doing? How is your week going so far? Um, didn't come on but to speak about something for a little bit, maybe a half an hour or so, 45 minutes. You know how it goes. We just play things by ear. But today I wanted to talk to you guys about mistakes. Um, I don't know how you guys are, but me, as the place that I am in my life right now, I was a person that used to be so hard and tough on myself. I never would allow myself the same compassion and understanding that I gave to others. So today I want to talk to you guys about mistakes and the mistakes that we make, and knowing that we are all humans. We're all human beings. We all do the wrong things sometimes. We all hurt other people. We all do things that's not the best things to do, but we do what we want to do sometimes. But we all make mistakes, and that's what makes us humans. And it's about us allowing ourselves to be human, right? Allow yourself to be human, allow yourself to be whatever, and then move on. You're okay? I'm glad to hear that, Neff. Thank you so much. Hey, Anthony, how are you doing? I'm checking in from work, letting it run. I really appreciate it. I hope your week is going well, Anthony. Hi, Miss Nancy. How are you doing? Welcome. Appreciate you being here. Um, I just had this, I really didn't know what to talk about today. I didn't come in with like a real big topic or anything, but right when I was about to go live, I thought this would be something good to cover based on how we ended yesterday. Um, so I feel this is a good continuation from yesterday, talking about we all make mistakes. Now, I will say this because a lot of times we expect perfection from others, and we are not perfect ourselves, even though, we try to say that we are. We only want to see the good in ourselves, and we only want to see the bad in others. But part of the human experience is just allowing ourselves to be human, allowing ourselves to say, I make mistakes just like them. So, one of the things that I'm working on trying to be more compassionate to others, being more patient to others, but also learning to be patient and compassionate to myself. That's I feel like that's a big deal. We usually can give other people kindness and consideration and compassion, but when it comes to our own self, are we as free to extend loving kindness to ourselves, to extend mercy, to forgive ourselves? And for years, the way that I grew up in, my family dynamic, it was that you always had to pretend that you were okay all the time, which we're not, you know. So part of my maturity, I had to also learn that it's okay to have a bad day. It's okay to be grouchy sometimes. It's okay to allow yourself to be human, but also to allow others in that same position to grant them that same compassion, that same mercy, that same understanding that I would like to have as well. Hey, Realist One here. How are you doing? Thank you for being here. Happy Monday. How is everybody doing? I don't know if I asked how everybody is doing already, but how are you, Gems, doing? I hope your new week is wonderful. Yeah, I just honestly just wanted to come on and to say this. We all make mistakes. We all fall short. We all hurt people's feelings, but we also have to learn to extend some mercy to ourselves. For many, many years, I was always willing to do for others, forgive other people, but I would always put my own self down. I would always expect like I'm not supposed to be tired. I'm not supposed to say no to people. I'm not supposed to do whatever for myself. So this is for whoever needs to hear this message, that it's okay to say no to others, so that we can think about ourselves, our well-being, our wellness, our spiritual connection, our mental health. All of it is important. And especially on my platform, I love to use my platform to speak about awareness, positivity, mindset shifting, and spiritual connection, because I feel like all connected together are important. So, everybody, I would encourage you to extend some loving kindness to yourself. We talk about self care, right? And self care can involve, yes, your physical appearance, making sure you're taking care of yourself and you look good. But also when it comes to your physical, your physical body, going and getting your exercise, for your well being, spending time with the people that you love, that actually do care about you, so that you can have those sort of connections and you can be okay. And to learn to stay back from people who are using and toxing and all of those things. I just recently went through something like that. And during this time of the year, it's good for us to evaluate the people that we actually are trying to do things for. Are we doing the things for them so that we can appear to be a kind or a giving person? Or do we do things because we care about them and we love them and we want them to succeed, and all those things? I guess what I'm trying to say is the motive. What is the motive behind why you do what you do for the people that you love, right? What is the reason behind all of it? Do you do things for your loved ones because you want them to succeed, or is it you have enabled them? Let's be honest, in this conversation, everybody. um, I can say with my relatives, there's a lot of things that I have done. You always bend over backwards to do nice things for them. But are those same people in your life, are they willing to give you the same kindness, consideration, compassion? Are they giving that back to you? Are they pouring into you? Are they supportive of you? Are they supportive of your dreams? Can you talk to them about how you feel without it being, like blown out of proportion? Or you can say something to them and then you don't have to hear it back from everybody in your relatives. So basically, working on having a good safety net, whoever that is in your life. And it does not always have to be relatives. Sometimes it's the people that you don't know, or the people that you don't plan on it being, are the people who are the most supportive, the most understanding, and the most loving to you. Especially, coming to the end of this year and coming into a new year, I encourage all of you to make sure that you're nurturing the relationships that matter to you the most, the ones that pour into you. Make sure you also pour back into them. It's so important to say thank you. I appreciate you. You matter to me. I love you. And it can be uncomfortable to say, I love you if you weren't raised that way. It's hard to do, it's hard to start doing that. But when you really care about your relatives, your friends, whoever it is in your life, if these people matter to you, go the extra mile, right? Go the extra mile to tell other people that you care about that you love them. um, I can say that from experience. I would do anything in this world to have my mother, my father, and my brother back. I would do anything to have them back. And I do have a regret that I didn't tell them I love them more, that I wish I would have spent more quality time with them. And that's one of the things about life is we all make mistakes. The thing about life is that we think we have so much time. Oh, I'll do that next week and next month, in a few months, right? We think that we have so much time to be there to spend with the people that we care about. And then the next thing you know, it's just such a shock to you when you find out that they're no longer with you. So, for anybody who needs this message, the people that are important to you right now today, make sure you tell them you love them, tell them they matter to you, tell them you appreciate them, tell them whatever it is that you need to tell them I'm sorry, tell them I forgive you, whatever it is, whatever fits. Is so important to get closeness with the people that really matter to you. And until something major happens, you really don't know how much you love them. You don't really know how much you have until they're out of your life for some reason, whether they got sick, whether they have passed on, or they've moved away. So don't wait to show love. That's one of the mistakes that I don't have no problem being transparent about that. That's a big mistake that I made when I was younger. I thought because I was young, I had lots of time, and okay, I'll do that in a few weeks, a few months, in 2 years, right? But in 2 years, a situation could be different. The people that you cared about, they may have moved away or they may have passed on. And then now what are you going to do? So it's just a recommendation to all of you gems to pour back into the people that you love. Show appreciation, show gratitude, even if it's in small little things. Send giving flowers, right? Giving flowers to people, and it could be literal flowers or just the flowers to say you're a good person. Thanks for loving me. Thanks for getting me through this. Thanks for whatever it is. Thank you are two words that are so important to relationships. It helps with the strength, right? It helps with the strength of a relationship, whether it's with your siblings, cousins, your best friends, your spiritual family, whoever it is in your life, your spouse, your significant other, whoever it is in your life, and they matter to you, make sure that they know and don't guess. Don't be like, well, they know I care about them. They know I love them, right? And we tend to think that way. But when is the last time that you actually said, brother, sister, mom, dad, auntie, best friend, I love you? Do that. And it may be uncomfortable and maybe you may not be able to verbally say it, but write a note, give them a card, call them on the phone, but do it today if it's possible. Let's not put off today what and say no, don't wait for tomorrow for what you should do today. Let me see the comments that I missed. Nancy says, yes, I was always that family member who bent over backwards for the others. There was always unnecessary drama. I am no longer an enabler. I don't engage anymore. And that's so good, Nancy, that you've grown and matured. And there are sometimes we have to go through these things, right? We have to go through learning ourselves. um, we think that a lot of times we'll say it out of our mouth, they're not mature, they're not this, and they're not that. But just because you are a certain adult age, chronological age, it doesn't mean that you're mentally mature. That's something that we do have to definitely work on. Hi, Steps to Leap podcast. How are you doing? Good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much, Anthony. Let's see what other comments I missed. Yes, we all make mistakes. We can't go back to the past and fix them, but we can do better now that we know better. That's right, Nancy. And that's one of the things that I love about life. Every day you get a whole new 24 hours, and nobody gets more than another. It's equal on that. Every human being gets 24 hours to a day. And the thing about life is, but what are you going to do with the 24 hours that you've been given? Are you going to appreciate them? Are you going to have gratitude? Are you going to spend time with the people that you love? Are you going to take care of yourself? Or are you going to stay in sadness? For a very long period of time, I stayed in that sadness aspect. I was miserable, I was angry, and it wasn't anybody else's problems but mine. I was angry because things that happened to me in the past that I hadn't, come to terms with. I hadn't accepted it. And when I say accept it, I mean there are things that happen to us that it has nothing to do with us, but other people put their problems on us, and they do things to us that's very insensitive, very discouraging, and it can break your spirit. The words that we say to others, it can be a healing, it can be a cleansing to others, or we can use our mouth to discourage somebody, to make somebody feel so down and feel even sadder than they already are. So what does it take really from us as a human to extend some kindness to another person? Even just looking at somebody and smiling. But that's something that we have to have inside, and you have to be ready to say, I'm not going to be angry anymore. I'm not going to blame other people for what happened to me before. I had to get there in my life, and I had to admit to my own mistakes that certain things that I was dealing with in my life was me. That was a me problem. It had nothing to do with other people. So learning to accept our own mistakes, and also the things that we allow people to do to us, and we didn't put an end to it. We didn't say no. We didn't, I don't want to do that. We do have to learn to speak up for ourselves, and you do have to learn to be honest with yourself, right? Be honest with you, even if another person doesn't like it, even if um, uh, whatever it is, even if it makes enemies of other people, even if it's causing you to stop enabling whoever it is in your life, your children, the person you're in a relationship with, other relatives. But you can't be the person to say yes all the time, and nobody ever says yes to you. Who is ever compassionate to you? Who is ever telling you sit down? Who is extending a listening ear to you? Who is doing something kind and nice for you? That while I'm all for being kind and loving, understanding, and compassionate to others, but one of the biggest mistakes that I ever made in my life was pouring out of my own cup and never receiving back, never asking for help when I need it, never allowing myself to say, today I'm just going to sit down, or for an hour, I'm just going to sit down and relax, or give myself my own personal me time. Those are some mistakes that I made when I was younger, before my maturity, that I don't have to learn that now. I know quickly when to say, I feel depleted. I need to some me time. And spending your me time doesn't mean you have to go and spend $300 at a spa all day. It could just be as simple as just going for a walk, or a drive, just having some time alone so that you can think. That's important. Time by yourself to think. Everybody get into your own personal time. And this is how you center, you get balance, you get focused, and that's how you connect spiritually as well. So all of those things are important. Yes, that's so sad, but so true. We put things off. Yes, Nefertiti, I was the queen of procrastination. And one of the things that I learned about myself in procrastination, I was putting off things in my life because I didn't believe in myself enough. I didn't love myself enough. I didn't believe in my talents and my gifts, and I listened to what other people said about me. And we have to learn for ourselves. What do I say about myself? What do I believe about me? Do I believe in my gifts? Do I believe in my own personal light? And until you believe in yourself, you know your own gifts and you know the walk and journey that you want that is ahead for you. Until that time, I was going to put it off because I didn't have a focus. I didn't know me. I didn't love me. I did not forgive myself. So that's one of the reasons why I procrastinated in the past. And that's one of the reasons why now I am as consistent as I am on all my channels, in my business, with my friendships. I'm very serious about those things. You put the time and the energy into the things that you actually care about. If you don't care about certain people, you're going to make an excuse. You will make an excuse because you don't want to do anything for them, you don't want to be around them, or whatever it is. So we do have to learn to be 100% honest with ourselves as adults and take ownership of what am I doing, what am I not doing, what do I allow, what do I need to put a stop to. All of those things will help us to keep our cup full and to not keep making the same mistakes and being used and enabling others. Yes, Nancy, we never know what tomorrow brings. We really don't know what tomorrow will bring. It may be too late. It really may. Yeah. Age is just a number. I always said that when I was younger, I used to always be, I was silly. I always thought, oh, they're old, they're old. And then when I got to be the same age as the people that I used to make fun of, now I'm saying, oh, that's not so old. But we do have to. It's more so about not being an adult. It's about how are you adulting? Are you better than how your parents were? Are you more kinder? Are you more compassionate, more understanding? Are you more loving, and not just loving to others, but also learning that it's nothing wrong with me being loving to myself and saying no to other people. No, I'm not going to do that because that's not good for me. So that was a walk that I had to learn and a mistake that I made before. And I used to have so much guilt, right? I had so much guilt every time I wanted to do something for myself. Oh, you're going to do that, and I thought you were going to do this for me. And then they kind of wanted, with the mind games, try to force you into doing things for them, and you really don't want to do it. So that's a mistake that I made in the past, not knowing about boundaries. So it's so important to set boundaries for not only for yourself, but also for them. Forgiving myself for poor boundaries has hurt me more than loved ones has hurt me for having poor boundaries. Yeah, Miss 702. And you have to forgive yourself for that. I think that was probably maybe the first or the second year of my therapy. I got into healing all of those wounds from the past. I had to forgive myself for things that happened to me in my childhood that I had no control over, the things that adults did to me. I had to forgive myself for poor decisions that I made. I had to forgive myself for not walking in the manifestation of my light, the light that was inside of me, and not being afraid. Don't be afraid to be who you are. Don't be afraid to have standards. Don't be afraid to have values. And don't be afraid that, I make mistakes, right? But I learn from my mistakes. I grow from my mistakes. And don't let other people hold that over you, like, you know, oh, you did this, like to shame you and say, that was my past and that's over. So don't let other people guilt you into what you've done, but also you yourself. Don't guilt your own self. We can be our own worst critic. Yeah, absolutely. Words have power. We can speak curses or blessing. The decision is ours. Yes, Nancy, that's so true. Yes, definitely. Definitely a me problem, Miss 702. Definitely. Thank you so much, Nancy. I appreciate that. Hi, Bill. How are you doing? I really appreciate everybody who's here. So, I was just thinking the other day about, just life in general, and how when you're younger you think about your life in a certain way, and you think of all the things that you are going to have as you get older. By the time I'm 20, I'm going to have this, and when I'm 30, when I'm 40, when I'm 50. But then when the reality sets in of actual adult life, you realize that life just doesn't go the way that you want to. So I guess this is my encouragement to all of you gems, wherever you are in your life, whether you're 18 or whether you're 80, whatever age you find yourself at this moment, uh, love yourself more. Love the people that matter to you. Spend quality time with them. That's one thing that we can't get back is time. So don't drag your feet and say, oh, hey, in a few years, I'll go and visit my aunt, my uncle, my best friend, this one, that one. I'll spend time with my spouse, or I'll spend time with the person I'm in a relationship with. I'll spend time with my friends another week. And then weeks turn into years, turn into 20 years, and you still have not done the things that you want to do. So while you have the time, right? While you have the time, while you have the strength, spend the time with the people that you love, even if it's just a phone call, even if it's a FaceTime. Take 5 minutes out of your day to make a phone call, to tell somebody, I appreciate you being a part of my life. Those are memories that will be cherished forever, even after a person has passed on. I can say that with my whole heart. Those are the things that I cherish right now in these moments of my life, when I actually did what I was supposed to and told the people that are no longer with me that I love them, that I appreciate them, and taking 15 minutes to sit down and break bread, have something to eat together, have a cup of coffee or some tea with them. Doing those things, we make time for what is important to us. And I think that's one of the major mistakes that we make as adults. We think about, we have to make money, and of course, because you have to take, bills don't stop coming, life doesn't stop happening, things are expensive. So I understand that we have to work, we have to make money, we have to do those things to take care of our relatives, right? But also, you have to remember, a balance is necessary. A balance is necessary, knowing that while it's important to make money, money can't be everything. It can't be. Because at the end of the day, what about those relationships? What about, the laughter, bringing back laughter, bringing back closeness, with the people that you love? For one, I can't speak for everybody, but to me, nothing is more important to me is spending time with people that I love, looking at them in the eyes, seeing a smile on their face, and having that memory. So we do have to think about that, and that's a part of resetting from time to time, asking ourselves the question, like, am I balanced right now in my life? Am I balanced? Am I balancing time for the people that are important to me? There's a lot. It could be like so much of your day could be involved in working and having fun, right? But what about the time with your children? What about the time with your spouse or your significant other? What about the time with your friends? What about the time with, just you by yourself having your own me time? I think that's one of the biggest mistakes I made from my teen years until my 20s. I made that major mistake of thinking that I had so much time, that time was going to stand still until I was ready to do what I wanted to do. And it does not work that way. So learn from my mistake. And I think we all do make mistakes. And I'm trying to learn to be better in not taking the people that I care about for granted. Don't take the people that you love for granted. Um, don't do it. Don't take people for granted, because you can't just walk out in the street and find somebody who's going to be kind to you and loyal and understanding and compassionate. So the people who are that for you, don't make the biggest mistake of your life by taking people for granted. And I can say that for years I took my parents for granted. I took my siblings for granted. I took the person that I was in a relationship with for granted for a long time, because I just said, "But they're there because I had been enabled." They were always constantly doing things for me, and I was never showing appreciation like I should. Now at this age that I am at, I know about being transparent, being honest with myself, and I had to go back and do some work and to apologize for the times where I'm sorry when I didn't support you. I'm sorry that I didn't listen to you. I'm sorry that I didn't go to this and that for you when it was important to you, because I was being selfish. um, yeah, that stuff. Because sometimes we'll get so involved in the things that are important to us that we don't think about the things that are important to the people that love us. Not every time, everything that we like, they're going to like, but we have to be balanced too. Give some time for them, be supportive of them, listen to them, but also filling up your cup too. I think that's a major mistake that happens with parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, brothers, siblings. Let's not take each other for granted. Learn to your love your loved ones, and there's no like manual that teaches us how to love. We just go through life just doing the best that we can, honestly. But I do think that we could do more. Ask questions. um am I kind enough to you? Is there something that I could work on? And honestly, work on that. I've been working on that as a woman, because I want to be not only a good woman, I want to be a good example. I want to be valuable. I want to be sincere in my relationships. And to be sincere in your relationships, you have to ask questions and then be ready for the answer. And humble pie is not a nice pie to swallow, right? It's not a nice pie to swallow when you realize that I'm not as patient as I should be with this person. I'm not as understanding. I don't tell them enough how much I appreciate them. So I'm working on that. I'm working on me. Are you, Gems, working on yourself too? So true. Time is expensive. It is. And once time passes by, we never get it back. So I'm in a very good place in my life. One of the reasons why I wanted to have this conversation, I'm in a really good place in my life. Not that I have things perfect. I have everything together, but I'm in a place in my life where I know now how to forgive myself. I know how to speak up for myself. I know about boundaries. I know how to be kind to others, but also being kind to others without sacrificing my soul, without without doing things that I don't want to do. Knowing how to say, I can do this, but not too much or just this time. So, all of that, like life is a learning journey. It's a learning, and every day you learn. When we fall down, we got to learn to forgive ourselves for the bad decisions, indiscretions, whatever it is. Let yourself have that, and then you move on. Learn to dust yourself off. One of the best things that my dad always told me is everybody gets down, right? Everybody gets down, but don't stay down. Allow yourself that time. If you need to shed tears, if you want to be angry, if you want to be sad, let yourself have that time, but then say, that's enough. That's enough. Now it's time to rise up again and go after what you need to do for yourself. So, just a little bit of encouragement that I wanted to give. My dad is always with me, and it always encourages me by the things that he said to me, by the way he lived his life. I'm grateful that I had an amazing example from my dad and that I can share his wisdom, his life story. My dad lived to be 80 years old, so did my mother. And they were married for 52 years. So I saw the example of love. I saw the example of commitment and loyalty, how you should treat one another, how to be a friend, all of those things I saw in my parents. And I can't say that I always made good decisions like them. I fell short many a time. I did wrong many a time, but I had to learn to be resilient and give myself a pat on the back, right? It's okay. And I had to tell myself that too. It's okay, Marlene. Forgive yourself for that and move on. Uh, keep on, keep on trying. Keep on loving yourself. I think that's important too. Hey, Angie, how are you doing? Welcome. Happy Monday. I hope you're doing amazing today. Yes, Miss 702. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I love my mother, but my daddy, that's my heart. Daddy's girl forever. Hey, can't handle the truth. How are you doing? Welcome. Appreciate you being here. So, how was it when you guys were growing up? Did you have good examples of love, commitment, friendship, compassion? Um, my parents weren't perfect, but one thing that I did see is that my parents loved each other. Yeah, that's one thing. My parents loved each other. Yeah, I could feel that, Miss 702. Hey, Retirement, how are you doing? Welcome in. That's one of the things that I had to learn. I had to learn about, um, I don't think it was until after my dad passed away. Until my dad passed away, I didn't realize what it was to be an adult because my dad had put me under his wing and he was always listening to me and protecting me and all of those things. And then when he was gone, I feel like it was my first time walking. Like I felt like I was on sea legs, like standing tall for the first time. I had to learn how to do things on my own without his sleeve of protection. And I had to learn to lean more on the spirit than I was before. So everything is about life lessons and learning how to grow up. Hey, Kyle, how are you doing? I'm doing well. Welcome in. It's right now it's almost 4 p.m. my time. What time is it where everybody else is? That's one of the things that I can appreciate about myself is before I was definitely not a person that I could open up and talk about how I feel and the things that I went through and the mistakes that I made. But I think the more that you learn how to be more honest with yourself, the more you learn to respect yourself, the more you learn about boundaries and the things that you like, the things that you don't like. I also can extend that to other people. I before was never a person that I could be patient with others, but I find myself now falling back more, staying silent on things like that's not worth it. There are some things that I've learned in my maturity. Some things is not even worth the time of the day, not even a moment to open up my mouth and acknowledge that foolishness. Some things I learned to just let that go, let certain people go. And another one of the mistakes that I made um, in my early teens to my 20s was holding on to people that I need to let go of. That was a big hurtful, nasty lesson. I felt that because I loved them, or because I cared about them, or because I was the good friend, I always could never see the bad in other people. I always had seen the best in them, even if other people were like, "Are you crazy? They're not a good person. They're this and they're that." But I didn't want to believe that because I guess I was just, I don't know, blind. I covered up things. I don't know. I just wasn't there. So that's one of the things that I'm grateful to be in the space that I am now, is I know how to be kind, compassionate, reasonable with others, but also not at my personal expense. I think that's the one of the mistakes that we make a lot as adults. I can't speak for a man because I'm not a man, but as women, um, a lot of times as women, we feel that we have to do so much for everybody, but we're not getting the same thing when we are in need, when we are in need of compassion, when we need a listening ear, when we need someone to be supportive of us. So I had to learn that for myself, learning how to, like, that's not a good person, identifying when a person is using you, identifying a person who is manipulating you, identifying a person who is a liar, identifying a person like they're this way today, but then tomorrow they're this way. Like, that's not consistent. So, learning that I deserve consistent treatment. I'm not a perfect person, and I know they're not a perfect person, but I no longer accept a person being kind to me when they're by themselves, but when they're with their friends or relatives or whoever, they ignore you. They don't talk to you. You're not invited to certain things. So, learning to see things for what they are and not forcing relationships, not forcing for things to continue. Um, Something that I learned about a year and a half ago was, there are seasons to relationships. Not that it's a bad way, but sometimes some friendships or whatever it is, whatever relationship, it was only supposed to be there for you to glean something from it. You were only supposed to be, they were supposed to be in your life for you to learn something. And the moment that you learned it, the purpose is served and now they can move on. And I had to learn to let go of people like, thank you for teaching me that. So, good and bad in this life, there's always something that we can learn from everything. From when people treat us good and when people treat us bad, we can always learn, but it's about our outlook. And I had to learn how to sharpen my outlook, learn to identify, like, that's not good. I don't like that. And then holding your ground. Don't allow people to manipulate you into accepting things that you don't like. If you don't like it, you don't like it. You don't have to take it. Don't allow other people to disrespect you, to waste your time. There's many of things like in my business that I would allow because I said I was being a good and faithful person, but by holding on to certain people or certain things, we don't allow other things to come in that is even better for us. So I had to learn that about myself. Stop holding on to negativity. Stop holding on to people who don't appreciate me. So you're holding on to get this little bit of thing when you could have something this big waiting for you in the wings. So you're blocking your blessings, you're blocking your light, you're blocking your energy. And there are people that will take from you, take from you. As long as you give to them, they're going to be asking for more. They can never be satisfied, right? Never, ever be satisfied. The more you give, they want more, 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 more. And you have to learn to say, stop, I'm not doing anymore. Or that was just this one time. And when you say no to something, keep your word, right? Keep your word. If you say something is no, then keep your word. Hey, Vernell, how are you doing? Welcome. Happy Monday to you. Hey, Word, how are you doing? Appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. And that's one of the things that I had to learn, learning to close doors, learning to close relationships, learning to block off toxicity, because there are certain people that no matter how much we want them to win, no matter how much we believe in them, they don't believe in themselves, or they don't love themselves, or they are in a stage where they're going through so much. But you don't have to take them treating you like garbage. You don't have to waste your energy. You don't have to waste your finances, all those things. And that's one of the mistakes that I know that I've made. I don't know if you have made, because every person is different. But I know for myself, I've made very bad mistakes with that, in allowing people to stay in my life that I needed to let go of, or people I needed to block. And I had to learn to start blocking people for my mental health, because every time I would talk to them, it was always something negative. It was always something, they're complaining about something, they're complaining about a person. It was never anything good about life. Just saying, today I'm having a great day. Today is awesome. I'm trying my best. Or even to say, I'm here. I'm grateful to be here. I'm grateful to be alive. Even something like that. Those words never came out of their mouth, because they don't love themselves, or they're going through a lot of things in their life. But one of the mistakes that I made is, I wish that I had learned it earlier, and I wish I had more years, but I've come to terms with it, that I'm grateful to be at a point in my life where I learned that my focus, I learned that my energy, my light, my joy is all dependent on me. Every day I wake up, I have to choose joy. I have to choose peace. I have to choose to be patient. I have to choose to love myself. I have to choose to not harbor resentment, and that's not something easy, because people can get on your last nerves. People can be very inconsiderate and rude. But I had to learn to stop uh taking in, eating, and digesting other people's problems when that was not theirs. I had to start saying, that's not my problem, that's their problem. Nope, take that back, I don't want it. Because if you don't, you're going to start worrying about other people's problem, and you can't do anything about it. There's some things that we cannot change. You can't change it. You can't do anything about it. You can't make anything happen. So try your best to focus on the things that you can do. And that's another way to fill up your cup. You fill up your cup by doing things that is encouraging, things that are positive, things that are motivating, things that help others to feel good about themselves. There's nothing like bringing a smile to another person. There's nothing like encouraging another person, motivating another person, just making a person know how much you appreciate them. So that's one of the mistakes that I made in my younger years. I didn't know how important it was to show consideration to other people, to say, you matter to me. Thanks for being my friend. Thanks for being my mother. Thanks for being my cousin. Thanks for being a loved one. I appreciate you. You matter to me. it's all of those things, but also learning to, when I see certain things that I don't like in people, like, nope, I don't like that, block, or nope, I don't want to talk to them anymore. Nope, I don't want to go to that get together. So learning when I don't like something, when I don't want to be somewhere, not doing it. So I don't go somewhere and have an attitude, folding my arm, pouting like I was a toddler. I don't do that anymore. If it's not something that feels good from my gut, if it's not something that fulfills me, is in line with the spirit, with the manifestation of the light inside of me, mm-mm, I'm not doing it. I don't do that anymore. I wish somebody had told me earlier when I was younger, don't do things that don't fill up your cup. Don't do things if you don't feel you don't feel the pull to do it. Don't force yourself to stay in relationships just to stay in a relationship. So I feel like those are some of the common mistakes that everybody makes. But at the end of the day, it's so important. Hold on one second, guys. Hi, Sirius. How are you doing? Welcome. Appreciate you being here. Happy Monday to you. So that's one of the things that I definitely have learned. Learning when to say when, learning to say no, boundaries, blocking people, all of those things. Block people for your mental health, block people for your spiritual health, block people for your physical health, block people for your financial health. That was a whole thing. Also, that was one of the mistakes that I made, thinking that I always had to open up my wallet for relatives or friends. And there was always an excuse with them. Well, you have it. And then they would make you feel guilty. Well, you have it. Or your credit is better than mine. Yeah, because I'm responsible, because I do what I'm supposed to do, because I know how to save money, because I do the right thing. So it was always kind of like you're penalized because you're responsible. And I had to learn to stop enabling people in that. It's not your job, Gems, to bail out people from their poor decisions. Yeah, everybody needs a handout from time to time. Everybody falls on hard times, but I mean somebody that you always constantly like have to do for, like they are your child, like they are your baby. No, we can't do that anymore. You have to say no to others. And I learned this in therapy. And it was such a hard lesson for me to learn, but I've learned it. I had to learn to say no to them so I could say yes to myself. And when I say yes to myself, that's how I can be able to still pay my bills and still be able to do things. Don't sacrifice your your existence, your being, your health on all areas to make other people happy. But in the midst of it all, you're making them happy, but you're miserable. That's a very common mistake. And we have to learn to stop making ourselves unhappy and do things that make ourselves happy. Learn to fill up our cup first. So that's something that I definitely didn't do before. I was always fill up the cup of your children, fill up the person you're in a relationship with, fill up this person's cup. And then by the time you notice, you look, your cup is empty. Next thing you have health problems. You're so tired all the time. You're drained, and they're gone away because they got what they wanted, and now you're all the way at zero, or even sometimes you're in a negative. Like, you can go through some very rough times because you didn't say no to something. So I want to say that to everybody. um don't forget to take care of yourself. Don't forget to think about your personal wellness, and taking care of yourself, doing the things that you need to do for your health. Getting exercise. This is not medical advice, and I'm not a doctor or a physician, but I'm just stating what works for me. You know, do some things that make you feel good about yourself. Going for a walk, going to the gym. Because when you take care of your physical health, it helps your mental health and it helps you to connect also spiritually. So, yeah, all of those things. I'm amazingly well. Thanks for asking. Hope your day is going good. Yes, it is. Thank you so much, Sirius. I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. Oh boy, did I learn that the hard way. It's hard for me to hand out money. I was handicapping then. I regained my power. Yeah. That's something that I learned, and I honestly didn't get it. I thought every time I was helping somebody financially, it was because it was something I was supposed to do because I was being a good spiritual person. I was being a kind individual. But people will take your kindness for weakness and they'll use you, they'll manipulate you, and you'll enable them so that they can't do anything for themselves. So you do have to learn to say no, to say yes to yourself. Nothing wrong with being kind to somebody when it's possible for you to do, but a common mistake is for us to take control of everything and feel like I'm the only one that can do it. I have to do it. So we can't be controlling. We have to let other people make their own decisions and learn to take care of themselves and be independent. All of those things. Yes, you disable people when you keep doing the same thing over and over because they don't learn how to get on their own feet and be self sufficient for themselves. Yeah. I didn't know that. I did that for a long time for with relatives, with friends, always being there, hand out, supporting. But when it was my time and I needed supporting, they was never there. So I had to learn about boundaries. I also had to be honest. Am I helping them or am I enabling them? It's two different things. Helping somebody is you help somebody for a moment. Enabling somebody is when you have to do something constantly and they can't do anything for themselves. They're dependent on you for that. So let's help others, but not enable them. So, yeah, good chit chat, everybody. I really enjoyed it. And I appreciate everybody who has been supportive of me on this channel. We're almost to partial monetization. I think probably by the end of this week, maybe by next week, this time I'll be at partial monetization. So I thank you, Gems, in advance for it. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for supporting this channel. I hope you've enjoyed this chit chat. I definitely have. And to those who are watching in the replay, leave me a comment in the comment section below. And don't forget to hit the like when you came in and when you leave, either one. And I hope you guys, all of my gems, I appreciate you all so much. And don't make mistakes that you used to make. You know, learn the lessons, be strong, speak up for yourself, respect yourself, don't enable other people, support others, but also remember that you deserve to be supported. All those things. I appreciate all of you guys, and I don't know when I'm going to do a next stream. Maybe on, I think maybe Monday. I think maybe Monday I'll do another chit chat with you guys. And I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Thank you for supporting Life with Marlene. I appreciate all of you. And thank you so much. Yes, I appreciate all of you guys so much. Thank you for stopping by Wellness. I'm just about to end. I hope you're having a great day. When you stop, you will find out how much someone can truly do. Yeah, exactly. Thank you guys so much. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. And I appreciate all of you guys. I hope you guys have a great evening. I'll see you guys on the next video, live stream, all of that. Bye, guys.